Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Today I'm going to give you a quick tour of our front garden area and maybe a few other spots here and there. We are about to get our first frost of the season. It is toward the middle to the end of October right now, and usually we can start to expect to see our nights starting to hit freezing temperatures. So that means that a lot of the really nice looking annuals that you see, like over here this Lantana, are going to get hit by that frost. So I wanted to share all that we've got so far with you this fall so you can kind of see what our progress has been, and you can check back some of the previous garden tour videos if you like and get a little bit of a basis for comparison between then and now. So here we go, let's take a look around. So I figured let's start over here and we'll go left to right on the front garden area. This is one of the newer garden beds that I put together. This one is brand new this year, and almost everything in this garden except for a couple of plants was taken from cuttings. This purple homestead verbena, we've got 3 patches of it, and I'm not quite sure what's happening here. It's almost like something dug at it, but we'll fix that real quick. We got some salvia in the bed, and it's blooming already. Next year it should look amazing. We got a Russian sage over there from a cutting, more salvia. That is a Viburnum, a Burkwoodii mohawk, and behind it is a Caryopteris. That one is longwood blue Caryopteris. That little Arborvitae over there in the corner will eventually grow to be a nice 6 to 8 foot tall Arborvitae. It is emerald green, and it also came from a cutting. That coleus is doing its function and helping to disguise the pipe right behind it. One of these days I'll get out here and actually cut down that pipe so it's a little bit smaller. And I found a Weigela on a discount rack. This one is Wine and Roses, and I popped it in here into this spot here. Looking forward to doing a propagation video on that eventually. And then right there another Arborvitae. We got the Caryopteris over here, and we've got a salvia right there. And there's a bunch of pots that I've got various things, mostly Viburnums. There's a lot of them in there. I've got some Itea in it. I transplanted an elm tree that was in one of our pots. I may put it in one of the wilder areas. Then there's a little maple tree that grew up, and that is actually a patio peach tree from our other house that grew from seed. So I'll be putting it somewhere eventually. I made a bunch of cuttings from this Limelight Hydrangea this year, and even though I made a whole ton of cuttings, you can see it's really still blooming really nicely. So it's got some blooms that are fading, some that are very fresh, and it has been fantastic. It is a standout type plant. You've also got another homestead verbena, and then this beautiful Lantana. This Lantana is an annual, so it won't make it next year, but it has done amazing in this area right here. We've got a little bit of a mum, and it's had a little issue where it kind of fell open in the middle. That is recent. I think we just had some major rains that caused that to happen. Kind of looks like something actually landed in it, but that's probably not what happened. Over here, this is a chive. This is garlic chives. And then back behind it is a nice rosemary. That came from a cutting there. And over across, we've got a salvia that has finished, or just about finished blooming. I've got one little bloom happening right there. Rose bush behind it with a couple more of the garlic chives. I'm going to start collecting some of the seed from the garlic chives and putting them around our fruit trees as a companion planting technique here very soon. And then right there we've got another mum. This mum actually was like a reddish color when it started, then it turned to bronze, and now it looks practically yellow. So it's kind of interesting. It kind of changed color as it progressed through the season. One major issue that we have around here are fire ants, and I'm working out ways to deal with them. If it's anywhere near an edible type plant like these garlic chives or the rosemary that's up here behind it, I'm using spinosad to try to kill off these ant mounds, but it has not quite been effective yet, so I may have to try something else. Back over here we've got more lantana and 2 different rosemary bushes, both doing really, really well. And then over here is a lavender, which I did a lavender propagation post on, taking cuttings from this one. It has not bloomed this season, but I'm sure it will next year. You can see there a little bit more of some ant issues happening in the rocks. So I really need to figure out something with this spot right here. It just feels very bare. I haven't quite decided what to do with that yet. Thought about sticking an Arborvitae there like the other ones, but we'll see. The Itea, it has not started changing its color yet. We've got some catmint and autumn joy sedum just showing off. Verbena and Salvia all kind of weaving through each other. And over here is our honeysuckle. I took down the trellis, so it's no longer up there. I'm going to actually dig one of these up and move it to another location before too long. I've got 2 of them. I really don't need 2 of them in the same spot. This nice red coleus is going to get hit very soon by the frost. But down below it, and you normally think of this as a springtime plant, but sometimes they flower in the fall too. This is a dianthus. This one came from seed I saved many, many years ago. This is Fire Witch dianthus that I grew from seed. Behind it, beautiful Shasta Viburnum. It's done very well. Can't wait to see it next spring when it's blooming. It actually produced a few blooms this fall, as you can see right here. Sometimes plants will do that. And if you ever have the chance to find something like this is a reblooming iris. It makes a really nice flower in the fall as well as it does in the spring. So you can see here, it's really got a lot of buds coming along, so we're going to enjoy this a little while longer. Hopefully the frost will keep away long enough for us to get a few more of these flowers out of it. I'm strongly considering doing something with this grass back over here. This is a switchgrass, and it browned up really early this year. We had a lot of drought issues, and so I just don't think it did really well in that location. So I may try to transplant that to somewhere else in the spring. In front of it, the Russian sage has done amazing. We've got a potted sage plant. I'll probably move it to a new location, but it's in a pot, so that's easy to do. Got some more garlic chives right there. And I kind of let my irises go a lot and just kind of let them grow as they want to. And they come back every year. So I don't really worry about trimming them up that much. You can if you want to make it look better. It definitely would help because you can get some of these little ends off of it that are all brown and everything. But I find I don't really need to. There's a spirea next to it. And I've let this basil go, because you can see it's taken up half the sidewalk, or maybe even more than that. But the bees have been really enjoying it. And you know, it makes a really nice scent when you walk by it and you smell that basil. So I've actually got a basil plant that I dug out that's self-sowed, and I brought it in this year, so I'm not going to worry about taking any cuttings of this one. But you very easily could take some cuttings of it, get it to root and water, and pot it up, and then you have your basil plant over the winter, and then you can plant it out in the spring. So on the other side of the basil, we've got this Rudbeckia here that's all gone to seed. I've got tons of seed I could collect and spread around to different areas. We do have some flowers still happening down there below. Beside it, we've got this. This is an Arborvitae. It's a green giant one. And I've kept it potted because I'm not exactly sure where I want to plant it yet, but I wanted to be able to start propagating some from it. So I've used it for propagation, but I've been keeping it in this large pot. Right behind it, we've got some coleus happening. It's done well in a very full sun location. They used to be considered shade plants, but I think they've bred more tolerance to sun in them. And so most of the ones that I've got out here have done very well getting a lot of sunlight. This is direct sunlight pretty much the whole day. Behind it, you've got a couple of crepe myrtles, and there's a reason why there's a couple. The darker colored foliage crepe myrtle is going to get moved. We bought it looking for the color of bloom, and we eventually found it in the crepe myrtle back behind it and decided we'll just transplant this one to another spot. We actually came with 2. That pot that this one came in had 2 of them in it, and I separated them out, so I have 2 of those color crepe myrtles to plant in other spots. This Russian sage is looking really good. It is still blooming all the way into the fall. It's one of the reasons I really like it so much. Now, if you want to, you can come in and you can trim out some of this dead material here. This does no harm whatsoever to pick off this kind of stuff. So anytime you want to prune that back, that is just fine. I would just hesitate at this point in the season to cut back too much live growth. And I would wait till spring to really do any kind of major pruning on your Russian sage. Here's another really amazing coleus. It has gotten a little sun bleach at this point, but I think it's had a long and really good season, so it's looking pretty good. We got salvia next to it right here. Let me move my shadow out of the way. We've got some coneflowers that are still blooming right there. And back over here in the back, if I can get to it, is a really, really amazing mum. These are Clara Curtis mums, and they are just always prolific. So I've got some right there, and a few over there as well. Those coneflowers right there, I believe that is Kismet, and it's done pretty well. Look, it's gone to seed, and so I'll probably collect some of that seed and see what grows from it. This is a Black and Blue Salvia. It's great for hummingbirds. I had some at our other house, and I wanted to plant some over here too. And you can see there's a lot of different things going on. We got an Agastache right there. It's kind of getting beaten up a little bit by this mum right next to it. Probably need to pull the mums back a little more or transplant this Agastache to a new location. This back area of the garden has gotten a little bit weedy. Problem is I've got a lot of nut sedge. So I'm gonna have to come out and figure out how to take care of my nut sedge issue, because every time you pull it, you hear a snap, and then when it snaps, it's gonna grow at least 2 more. So your nut sedge is kind of like a hydra from Greek mythology. You pull one out and you get 2 more coming off, 2 more heads coming. So you gotta watch it, and I think there might be some herbicides that you could potentially use for nut sedge. I'll have to talk about that at another time though. This Artemisia is always great. It is humongous now though. If you check that out, this is Powys Castle Artemisia, and it got pretty big last year. I pruned it back a little bit. I think it's gotten a little bigger this year. In the spring, I'll probably take a lot of cuttings off of the edge area and prune it back to keep it away from the sidewalk a little bit better. But I really love the silver contrast with the Onondaga Viburnum right behind it. You can tell it's gotten a little bit of damage from the drought, but it's got new foliage forming on it. And that new foliage is usually what the whole plant looks like when everything is perfect. And here's the arbor that I did a video on just a little while ago. This is brand new. We put it together. It is very similar to an arbor that I built at our other house and had for our shade garden. It was kind of like an entry arbor going into it. Over on the sides, we're eventually going to put in fencing. That'll be a winter project this year. You can see my nice, beautiful beds over there. Those Vego garden raised beds are awesome. Really enjoying those. And back into the garden, I've got landscape fabric all the way down to the back. The back, I got to do a lot of cleaning up over here, but the back area is where our shrub type of fruit trees are going to be, blueberries, figs, and stuff like that. I've got a lot of cleanup to do. The garden is about done for the year. About the only thing we have going still are peppers and a few tomatoes here and there. And I'm going to get started on doing some fall vegetables, lettuce, kale, and things like that in those raised beds over here to the right. And please excuse the mess. What happened last year is I dug the holes to start putting in posts, and then I hurt my shoulder moving mulch, and I was pretty much out of commission for anything major to do for months. So, and then it got hot, and then once it got hot, who wants to be out putting in fence posts? So this fall and this winter, that is the project that I have in mind. And so this is one of the new trees that we added. This is an October Glory maple tree. It's a type of red maple, beautiful fall color, and you can see it's a pretty sizable size tree here. Beautiful color, just check that out. Now, and here is a maple tree that I bought and planted this year. This is October Glory maple. It's a type of red maple tree. Very beautiful fall color. It's been around for a while and is a standout. I need to do a little bit of pruning, but I'm going to probably wait until spring so I can actually cut off the branches and then try to propagate them. But you can see right here in this union, I've got 2 of them. This one over here on the right needs to probably get trimmed off, and some of these lower branches also need to be trimmed off so that they aren't going to be as low to the ground as they are when they're larger branches. It's better to do it now and train it properly so it can grow into its best potential natural shape. So here's a little bit of a side shade garden. It gets some late afternoon sun, so they're not exactly all the way in the shade. But we've got a Japanese maple here. This is Germain's Gyration. I had one at another place, and I had to buy another one to bring here. It's a great tree. Really love that one. There's the Brandywine Viburnum that I did a video on not too long ago. And then one of my favorite plants is Heuchera. And so I've got a bunch of them here. A few of them are from seed. Some I purchased from another location. There's a hellebore. And then those are some hydrangeas that I did from Lady in Red Hydrangea, just cuttings. and those are very easy to do. Hydrangea cuttings are great. This oak leaf hydrangea was also a cutting that I took from our other place, and it is doing beautifully. I need to get some more cuttings off of this to grow and put into some of our other areas. It didn't flower this year, but I bet next year it probably will have a bunch of blooms that we're going to enjoy. And of course, the other day I did the video on planting the beautyberry bush. It is gorgeous. Really love these things. I can't wait to have a whole bunch more here in the garden. Our back shade garden is in need of a little bit of weeding over there. We've got some chickweed that came in. Once we started getting rain again, we had those weeds start popping up. We got a lot of Heuchera in here. I've collected some seeds from those to potentially grow them from seed. Got some hostas that also produce seeds, so we'll try to get them growing. And of course, we have this lemon balm that just seems to come from nowhere. I didn't actually plant this, it just grew. It probably had some seed in one of the other pots and just started going. And those are the lady in red hydrangeas that I took the cuttings from, looking fantastic. Their branches are where they get their name from. They just look amazing with those red colored stems. And the flowers, they produce a lace cap type flower, which are some of my favorite hydrangeas. I really like the lace cap better than I do the big puffball type hydrangeas. So it's always a really neat thing to go back and look at these videos that I've made and compare them to what I've done before. So I kind of use them as a baseline to see where I want my garden to grow and what new things I want to plant, what things I want to move around, or maybe there's plants I want to completely get rid of. It really allows me to think about those kind of things over the winter time when all I have to do is plan. I can't really be out active working in a lot of areas of the garden at that time. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was interesting. Maybe it gave you a couple ideas. If so, hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time here on Growing the Home Garden. Thanks for watching.